Have you ever witnessed an animal suffer such cruelty? This Mastiff did. Abandoned, emaciated, and with a leg wound so horrific it defies description, this poor pup was left for dead. The stench hit Jimmy like a brick wall as he scooped the dog into his car. Feverish and whimpering in pain, the dog could only whimper. It was clear this wasn't just an injury, it was torture, but Jimmy wouldn't give up. He knew the vet wouldn't be open for hours, but this dog needed help now. Prepare for a roller coaster of emotions, animal lovers. This isn't your average rescue story. Stay tuned to see the incredible fight for survival, the heart-wrenching decisions, and the ultimate test of hope. Would Jimmy's love and the vet's skill be enough to save this dog's leg? Or will a different kind of rescue be necessary? Follow along and share your thoughts. Back home, Jimmy provided food and water cautiously. The dog's like a gruesome sight, infected, crawling with maggots and exposing raw bone. Jimmy, heartbroken by the pup's suffering, could only hope the antibiotics he'd administered would ease the infection. Suspecting human cruelty due to the dog's distress, Jimmy knew they had to wait until morning for the vet. The next morning, Jimmy took the dog to the vet. The vet examined the dog and said that the leg was too badly damaged to be saved. The skin was gone, and there was no way to stitch it back together. The dog had no feeling in the leg due to the extensive necrosis, and it couldn't bear any weight on it. The leg was riddled with holes, and the flesh had rotted down to the bone. Jimmy was devastated. He didn't know whether to opt for conservative treatment or amputation. All he could do was trust the vet to do everything possible to save the dog's leg. The dog was in surgery for almost 2 hours. Jimmy wasn't allowed in the operating room, so he could only pray for the dog's safe recovery. Finally, the surgery was over. Jimmy rushed in to see the dog. The ventilator was still attached, and the dog was still under anesthesia. This was the critical moment. If the dog woke up, it would have a chance to live. If not, it would die. Jimmy felt helpless and could only pray for a miracle. Thankfully, the dog woke up a short while later, but it was too weak to stay awake and fell back asleep. It had been through a major surgery, and its resilience was a testament to its will to live. The anesthesia had lowered its body temperature, so Jimmy placed an electric blanket under it and covered it with the blanket. Hope hung by a thread. The vet's words echoed in Jimmy's ear. Surgery's success didn't guarantee the dog's leg. Days turned into a tense waiting game. Jimmy showered the dog with care, food, and water. The swollen leg a constant reminder of the fight ahead. Antibiotics stood to counter, and growth medication became their daily routine. A desperate plea for the body to heal. 2 agonizing days later, Jimmy returned to the vet. The swelling might have subsided, but the edema remained. Amputation loomed large, a dark cloud threatening to swallow their hope. Yet, Jimmy refused to surrender. He sought the vet, who was currently operating on the 2nd floor, determined to explore every option to save the leg. Finally, the vet emerged, scrubbed and ready. Jimmy poured his heart out, his unwavering desire to save the leg shining through. The vet, touched by Jimmy's passion, agreed. Amputation was the last resort. They would fight for their leg together. A glimmer of hope. The vet examined the leg, a stark contrast to the horrific mess Jimmy had brought in just days ago. Flesh was starting to heal, with patches of new pink tissue peeking through. The critical area, the joint, especially the patella, was no longer crumbling bone, but covered in a hopeful layer of fresh growth. Could this be the turning point? The vet meticulously cleaned the wound and administered another round of antibiotics. The swelling was a constant reminder of the dog's suffering, had significantly reduced. Inflammation was under control, and the dog was eating and drinking well. But the fight wasn't over. Osteomyelitis, a life-threatening bone infection, remained a concern. However, the dog's overall improvement was undeniable. Back home, Jimmy shouldered the weight of cautious optimism. The dog's progress was undeniable, a stark contrast to the maggot-infested one he'd arrived with, but the road to recovery remained long. Jimmy showered the dog with care, even indulging it with some delicious beef and bones. "He eats better than I do," Jimmy joked. The lightness a testament to their growing bond. Weeks of dedicated treatment paid off. The once exposed bone was now a canvas of healing red flesh, the one shrinking steadily. As long as the bone area healed completely, the leg could be saved. The dubs at the time roared back to life, its spirits mirroring its physical improvement.